All right, guys. So this morning we are going to do the 50-hour maintenance on the Kubota L3560 right there. And here's the maintenance. Right down here, the 50. We'll check the torque for the bolts, for the wheel bolts. Of course, greasing, we do that every 10 hours anyway. Then we come down. We don't have a clutch because ours is hydrostatic. So we're going to do transmission oil filter, the engine oil filter, and the hydraulic oil filter. Okay, here are the parts that we're going to use today. We've got the oil filter, transmission filter, hydraulic oil filter. Hydraulic oil, we go with a UDT2, that's what they recommend, and then 10W30 engine oil. Okay, we'll just do a quick rundown of the tractor first. And the short is, this is an Elle3560 limited edition. And the limited edition, normally limited edition means that, you're getting more or additional, capabilities or items, luxury conveniences, that sort of thing, on your vehicle. In this case, it's actually just the opposite. There apparently was some sort of gap in the Kubota line where they felt like this Grand L series, and I'm not sure why they call it Grand. I think it's the Grand L means that it has a cab. Anyway, so at the end of the day there apparently was some sort of gap in both the price structure as well as the capability structure of the Kubotas relative to John Deere and other manufacturers that are out there. So they came up with this, which is a slightly stripped down version of the regular 3560. Obviously, all the key components are the exact same. In fact, even the wiring harnesses for the items that they took out of this tractor are actually still in the tractor. You just need to hook it up to those relative components. Anyway, so we're not going to go, we'll go over the tractor at some other point. The only thing that's sort of unique about mine is the dually rear wheels back here. And that's because I'm dealing with such steep ground. I have to have the dualies. So anyway, this is obviously the front. Now, the loader, I'm sorry the light in here is not great. The loader, you'll see, I actually got the lighter loader, the 555. And, the other guy that I watch and am subscribed to that has this exact same tractor is Jared from Jared's shop. If you haven't seen him, he does a really nice job of going over maintenance issues, that sort of thing. And he's also done this 50-hour maintenance on this exact same tractor and did a really nice job shooting it. So you can also jump over and see him. Anyway, so I think the next one up is called the 805. Now, I don't know, what right looks like. The issue that I originally ordered the 805, and then my Kubota dealer called and convinced me that I should go with a lighter loader. I'm not sure if they did that because they had lighter loaders, in stock that they wanted to give me, or whether their argument is actually sound. Their argument was simple. The capacity of the tractor in lifting, it falls in between the 555 and the 805. In order to get greater capability from the 805, it obviously requires greater weight. So in every lift, you're actually lifting more weight than what's in the bucket because of the additional weight of the loader itself. So you're actually diminishing capacity. They said if you go with a lighter one, yes, it's a lighter capability, but you can use the full extent of the loader, and you don't have the additional weight that you're lifting of the loader itself. So anyway, I don't know what rate looks like. So far, this loader has been perfectly fine. I've exceeded it once when I tipped over my buddy's chicken coop. But whether the other one would have been able to lift it or not, I don't really know. So anyway, it is a cab. That's really convenient. But the problem, I'll tell you, with the cab is the fact that, again, the lighting here is horrible. The problem that I do notice with the cab is that it's so small and confined that I can't put anything else in there. It's like I can't have a toolbox in there. There's not space really for a toolbox. Of course, there's not space for another passenger. There is just standing up next to you or something, but it really is restrictive, but I'll tell you, I would take it every time, because here in Tennessee, A, it's hot, and B, we've got yellow jackets like crazy. And just those two things, when you have the yellow jackets swarming around the outside of the cab, it pays for itself really fast. And then, of course, the heat and everything. It is super nice. I would definitely have it again. If I was 30 years old, maybe not, but at my age, I don't need to be miserable. Okay. So, typical PTO and that sort of thing. Now, this is the Land Pride Bush Hog. And I will rate this as somewhere between homeowner and ranch and farm level of capability. You can see this busted out here. You can see there, I've got a crease there. This also right along through there. So what's causing those? What's causing them is that if you go over a sapling, the sapling will get cut off and sometimes get caught in between the blades, the two blades under there, and the top of the box. And so this is so lightweight that the limbs and the saplings are actually banging these big dents in the top of it. So, I don't know. The guy that I bought the property from, he had an actual bush hog brand. There were no, dents or anything in that one. So I don't know. I don't know what rate looks like. It's been fine. It works really well. But yeah, I am beating the heck out of it. I mean, you can just see all this denting, and that's just from saplings and that sort of thing getting caught up underneath it. So that's that. That's Land Pride. Of course, the dualies. Hopefully, give you a little better shot of the. Very comfortable tractor. No, that's horrible lighting. Okay, so right here is where we're going to start. Engine oil. There are actually two engine drain plugs, one on this side and then one on the other side. And then, of course, here's the filter. And then just real quickly down underneath the, let's call it a passenger door just for common terms. Can we see it? Yeah, there are the bottoms of the hydraulic and transmission filters. Now, one thing I learned from Jared was when you're replacing I believe it's the hydraulic fluid, if you go to the hydraulic fluid reservoir here, and put are you seeing this? Yeah. If you, and put a vacuum over the top of that, then you will create a vacuum or a suction that will help suspend the hydraulic fluid when you're dropping the filter, and you will lose less of the hydraulic fluid during that process. You're still going to lose some, but you lose relatively less. Okay, so the first thing that we do is move the brush guard forward, just out of the way, so that we can then pull down here and lift up on the bonnet, as they say. And then this piece just lifts up and out of the way. All right, so the first thing we'll do is, you can never have enough of these containers. So I ran the tractor a bit so that the oil will be warm, and then let it just sit for a minute. I see there's a washer on here you got to pay attention to. That's frankly would have been better
had they soldered that washer onto the head of the bolt, because I can see that getting lost. See that little copper washer? Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna put this here and go over to the other side. Bring the filter over. I've already put a little coat of oil on there, fresh oil, so that we'll get a good seal on that. And also put on some gloves. I always forget until I get into the first bit. I was dealing with the, I had set that pan a little bit too far out. So once it started to, let me show you. So I'm sure, like many of you guys, the oil filter, you end up collecting these different types of gadgets to take, these things off with. You collect a bunch of them, but I found, frankly, these to work perfectly fine usually, particularly on the Kubota, because the Kubota, one thing I've noticed is that it's really easy to work on. Everything is so readily accessible. That the design is actually very functional for what Wrangle Star would call the professional homeowner. Now this, unfortunately, let me see if I can't move you guys over. This, unfortunately, is not really designed very well. You can see it's right over the top of the axle. So it's going to make a bit of a mess. See, that just doesn't make any sense at all. That doesn't make much sense. Okay, so we can put this back on here now. Remember, this is the engine oil filter. Just go to hand tight, and then I'll just give it a little squeeze, a little bit of a turn, not much. You really don't want to put these on too tight, because they frankly, they don't need to be that tight, and they will then create a vacuum, and they get really difficult to take off. Although you can see this one's so accessible, it's not really that big of an issue. But if you notice, one thing that Kubota does, your original filter set is black, and then your replacements are white. So I think that's how they can determine whether it's had its first service. I guess that's why they do that. That's what I heard. Can't believe everything you hear, but that's the story. I'm sticking to it. Yeah, so these are dripping okay. I'm going to go over to the other side and see if that is, it looks like it has slowed down even more than this one. So I can replace that. yeah, that plug. Maybe I'll just let them drip a little bit longer. I mean, there's no hurry. Oh, so here's the thing. You know, for any of you that have done videos, you'll appreciate the fact that the videos can be a distraction and make you forget, you know, simple things, or just, you know, get distracted. So I noticed that I had taken out the dipstick previously to just check the oil level, but I didn't take it out to do the actual oil change. For those of you who may not know, obviously you do that just to create a vent so that everything sort of flows better. So we want to make sure that we've got that little copper washer on there before we go back to putting this back together and filling her up with oil. You see, I mean, changing the oil, you know, such a simple job. On most vehicles, sometimes the cars, some of the models of the cars can be sort of tough because it just gets so cramped up under there. But like I said, Kubota seems to really think about their maintenance of their equipment, because things do seem to be pretty easy and accessible. There we go, just snug that down. I can actually put this back in now. Just jump over to the other side real quick. Same thing. Okay, see, we're gonna have to take off this little cover here. Everything's so dusty out there in the fields, just so it doesn't get down in there. Before I take the caps off. The funnel is a little small, so it's gonna want to back up on me, but it'll work. Just gotta be patient. Yes, it just wants to back up pretty quick because the nozzle end of it is so narrow relative to the size of the container. So this is 3.78 liters. See how it's nice that this one tube is there, so I don't have to try to hold it while I'm pouring this. Pretty convenient. Okay, with the second one now it was 6.7 and this is 3.78, right? So I'm actually 8/100ths over what I would be if I went straight to 2. So I just got to make sure I delete that from on the back of these. If you haven't seen this, they're graduated, so it says 1, 2, 3. So I need to do the 7/8, and then I need to do a little bit less than the 2, then down to the 2. That's not, it's probably gonna be a little shy, but I just want to check it. I just want to, yeah, your first time, you know, just take that extra little effort to make sure your math is correct. I'm just going to let that flow, you know, and worry about the other things. Get the other filters off and replaced, and then we'll go from there.
Well, check out the head on this thing. This is like billeted material. Look at that. That's obviously under a lot of pressure. I think off the top of my head, I think this was the transmission. Is that right? Or is it the hydraulic? It seems like it would be the hydraulic, not the transmission. But, whoo! I believe the vacuum that I was talking about is actually with the hydraulic system, not the transmission. So that means this one, hopefully, will not pour fluid quite as badly. Woo, that's pretty tight in there, boys. That could make a mile of a hess. No, that is going to lose all of my fluid. That's going to lose all of my fluid there. That did not work at all. No. Okay. Ugh. Okay, I've got to fix this quick. Oh, yeah. I can feel that suction. Dude, that's cool. Come on, please. That is really neat, guys. That is really neat. Yeah, that actually worked. Oh yeah, listen to it. Now, let's see if I can break this guy free. This is the one that's really heavy, so. Woo! Oh, that is unbelievable. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a lever. Okay. This piece seems like it might be better. Sorry, you're gonna have to be out of the way because we got some tomfoolery going on here now. See that? That's a professional homeowner, boys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wait a minute. Don't tell me I spoke too soon. It rotated, but still seems to be on there, snug. Upside down. Yeah. It just wants to be a little bit temperamental, you know. Okay. All right, gentlemen. I better get this one ready.
You could say that's one way to do it. I wouldn't recommend it twice. Yeah. See how slick, how easy that is. When, as you say, as Mike Rowe says, safety third. Job completion first. One thing that we need to do is we need to, this is the air cleaner right there. And then you can see that indicator right there with the red sticking out. That means that this dust collector is full and needs to be cleaned. So we just pop these open. Wait a minute here. I see what the issue is. There we go. Usually something simple, huh? That element doesn't look that bad, to tell you the truth, but, you know. Okay. So I will just simply come over here to the compressor and we will blow it out. No, I don't think I need to tell you guys. You need to blow from the inside out, right? You don't want to embed the dust further in it. It doesn't really look that dirty, but if the indicator says it's dirty, we will do it. Okay, so that was easy enough. And then this just goes back up on here and gets snugged up in there like that. Then this slides in here. This goes down towards the bottom, this here. Says top on it even, and just in case you forget, that just slips on there like that. The one on the other side's a little sassy. Okay, then you have to come over back to this button and reset it, see? Does the whole thing come in, or what does it do there? I don't know, it doesn't feel any different. It still looks red to me, so I'm not sure. How you reset it then? Just says push it in. Pushed it in. Okay, so maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I also clean these out, see? These, oops. Yeah, this could even use a little bit more. Oh yeah, look at that. I did blow it out and it's still, so yeah, those need to be, there's two of them. That one and then this one here. Little screens, this comes up this way. So we'll take care of those screens. Again, I'll blow them out and they'll back at you. Okay, so you can see that red ring at the bottom of that. That is a float, okay? So that would rise up if there was water in that water separator. So that means that there doesn't appear to be any water in there, so we're good with that. And now it's gonna come down to just greasing. But I'm also greasing the tractor instead of, you know, just like the loader and the bush hog and that sort of thing that I do every 10 hours of operation anyway. But this is periodic maintenance, so I will get down there and start taking care of that. Before I move on to the greasing, I did want to show you this little connector I got for the grease. I know, don't bust my chops, I'm still on a hand crank. But I did get that, and it seems to be
pretty interesting, you know, pretty user-friendly. Because the other one, you know how it is. It just, sometimes it pops on there, you can never get it off, and then other times you can't get it on. You have to hold it in as hard as you can possibly hold it in, and then it still squirts grease all over the place. You know, that's life. All right, back at you. That, and then I believe, according to the book, we will be done. And then it's just a matter of cleanup. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to share this little bit of experience with me. And we will catch you later.